All right, what is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Black Desert announcement video. So today was patch day and we got a bunch of cool stuff, but one thing I wanted to talk about was this bundles of treasure items galore. It started today as of November 21st till December 5th, and I thought I'd make an announcement telling you guys that if you are going for treasure items, now is probably a good time to do it, simply because treasure items, as we all know, is a very time-consuming activity to go for, and now you can get them, you know, randomly from various spots, which I think is helpful, more or less, because, yeah, you don't know what you're getting, but I just wanted to talk about it because it is pretty important. And yeah, so defeat monsters in various zones during the event, and Shikatu's merchant treasure bundle, you get, basically, you grind, you get this, and then what do you get from it? Various things. So I wanted to talk about like all the treasure items and what do they do, how are they important, and why you should get it, and as well as all of these stuff that we're already getting. So the compass is basically like teleporting a party to you. So basically you're the Uber, and it's not really something that you use for yourself. It's more to pull people towards you, which I think is helpful in a way. If you're wanting to teleport to other people, the telescope is the one you want to go for. And that one is more like the self-use item. I think of anything, the rich merchant ring is probably going to be the most time-consuming, the hardest one to get, followed by the telescope and then the other two. The Elton piece from the compass, that one took me like 300 hours. It took me about 500 total hours from years ago to get my full compass. It took me about I would say about 150 hours to get the full telescope. I'm working on a rich merchant ring, and I just have been so lazy to go for the archaeologist map. But the telescope teleports you to a guildie or a party member. And so this one, I think, is probably one of the most useful active ones. And the rich merchant ring is like, you know, when you list something on the central market, you know how there's tax, it takes minus 5% of that tax off. So basically, whatever you sell, you make more. This is probably the overall best one, but the hardest one to get because it requires going to Olin's. And as we all know, Olin's is a group spot. If you're at the high end, the hardest part is finding a group. And the archaeologist map allows you to travel to, like, you know, at a certain node or safe zone. If you've ever used like the 500k one, it's the same thing but on a permanent scale. They are split timers, so like if you use the 500k blue one and the archaeologist one, they're on a separate timer, so that's always good. So yeah, of all these 4 items, if you were to, I don't think you can pick, but like if you were to try to go for anything, the merchant ring piece has some of the more tedious spots because some of these are at like spots that are really on the lower scale of AP, DP, and that even if you are a higher end, you're not making as much silver. Whereas overall, I would say the one from the telescope, everything is in either Tungrad, City of the Ruins. And so no matter what, you're making decent silver there. Rich merchant ring, Olin's is very good, but everything else is okay-ish. Cryptic Wrestling Thought, any Deboreka spot is probably decent, but like the other two, not so much. As for the compass parts and the archaeologist map, the silver is not so great, but if you're gonna go for any of these, you might as well try to do the Dekia one because you make more silver there. And you know, having them funnel into tower spots during Dekia is probably better than doing a large circle rotation. So if you have the AP and DP for that, do the tower spots if you can, but either way, it's a little bit different. All right, so treasure items have unique appearances. This is how you basically identify them. If you get like a random piece, I have no idea which one, you can identify them at these places. And I guess I just told you what all these do. So anyway, let's see. Shikatu's Merchant Treasure Bundle, Monster Zones. Let's talk about all of them. So if you are in the upper Sakraya, this is where you normally would get one of the merchant ring pieces. And I guess now you can get it from everything. So like if I were to hopefully get lucky, I want to get this one because the spot is tedious to grind. Proddy Cave is more of a beginner spot. Abyssal is... I feel like this one is fading out of relevance because you know how they added harmony drafts, which are the like all-in-one elixir essentially, versus the other one that you made before. Sakraya is just, it's fallen off a little bit, but I don't think it's bad. It's just slower. Serendia, if you were to grind any of these spots, all of these give the cut pieces for your accessories, but I would grind Ore Camp because Ore Camp just straight up gives the most silver. Bloody Monastery is also pretty decent, and it has the bell event, so you could make a lot, but overall, if you're going to grind any Serendia, Elvia spots, Ore Camp is the way to go. Bloody Monastery is probably coming in second, and then everything else. But if you can grind Ore Camp at like 260 plus AP, you're doing fine. Just do that. All right, Calpheon, Quint Hill. This is something I've been practicing recently, just trying to improve. So Quint Hill is very solid silver. Star's End. I feel like Star's End fell off years ago. Back in the day, if you can get a disto, you were doing great, but at the time, distos were like 300 mil each. Now I think distos are probably like, what, 100 something? So I think at Star's End, if you don't get a disto, it feels really bad. You don't really get that much silver from like trash loot and all. So I don't know. But Paddocks Island is one place where you would get the merchant ring as well. So Paddocks is a solid spot. It's not really good, but you have to grind there. So in the Calpheon spots, where would I grind? Giants is solid. Quint Hill is solid. Paddocks is one of those places. Cyclops is okay. Hex Sanctuary is decent, but it also depends on how many of the crystallized despairs you get. So back in the day, before the Dawn Gloves came out, I was grinding that out for those, and I was making what, like 1.52 bill an hour. I think nowadays it's like maybe a bill an hour tops, but you know, it's uncontested, so like you could probably grind there in peace. But if I were to pick anything at the higher end, Quint Hill is probably the one to go to, or Cyclops Giants, one of those two. And then Paddocks for the merchant ring piece if you're focusing that one specifically. For Medaya, I don't think anyone grinds Schultz, but Kratuga is a very solid spot just because it gives a lot of beginner to mid-tier artifacts before you go into the Kabua ones. So Kratuga is a very solid spot. Valencia. All of these Valencia spots drop a piece in particular, like for example the Compass and the Archaeologist map. They all kind of have the spots already, but I guess you can get different ones from different places, so I think that's good. But if we're talking about should you grind it for like silver as well as going for the piece as well, Dekia Crescent Shrine, this one is a very solid spot. Dekia Kadri is a very solid spot. If you're a beginner, Centaurs is always good. Dekia Histria and Pielaku, they're like a bill an hour, but I mean, going for the Elton piece is like priceless, so kind of have to do that. Kama Sylvia, Gyphon Underground, always a very solid spot and a highest XP spot. All the Ash Forest spots are pretty solid. Ash Forest Dekia 2 is a little bit less silver, but it does have the chance to drop the new DR and Evasion artifacts. So, I mean, those are the only places you can get it, from Dekia 2 and Olin's 2. But aside from that, Polly's Forest, if you're a beginner leveling up on seasons, you could have a chance of getting it there too. Always cool. And yeah, I guess that's about it. All of these are not bad spots. Well, Navern Step is not great, but if you're going for infinite potion pieces, you're gonna have to be here. It's better off to grind somewhere else and buy the potions, I'm gonna be honest. And Drigan, these are all infinite potion piece spots, but I don't think any of them are particularly great. I think Blood Wolves is okay if you're going for it because it gives you the Dark Red Fang Valor, and I don't know if it's a Valor, but it gives you one of the crystals to Cagdanak that you could turn into one of them, which is decent silver. Odalita, I actually haven't been to Thornwood in a long time, but Thornwood used to be good then, but that was also assuming that you got like 3 to 5 rings an hour, but accessories are not in a great spot right now. But Crypt of Resting Thoughts, always a good spot. It actually has a solid drop rate for Deboreka belts, so if you're still going for that one, pretty decent. All the Olins are good, and one of the most tedious things to go for the Merchant Ring piece. And I actually haven't done Dekia Tenkuda, which is Turos, essentially, just because it's a duo spot, and most people grind solo these days, except for Olins, which actually has something rare to go for. So, of Odalita, I would probably choose Olins, Crypt of Resting Thoughts. I don't know about Thornwood anymore, just because the bulk of your money came from the rings, which are less relevant. Everfrost, Land in the Morning Light, Mountain of Eternal Winter, Jade Starlight Forest is decent, but once you have your Labreska helmet, there's really no reason to be here, sadly, because I thought the zone and region was really nice. It's kind of out of date. Ulakita, literally all 4 of these spots are pretty solid. I would say City of the Dead is the most tedious, well, not tedious, but annoying gimmick ones to grind. But if you're going for silver, Tungrad Ruins is just straight up very solid across the board. So if you're gonna grind Ulakita, just straight up just do Tungrad Ruins. Ezerheed, Highlands, and Darkseekers are also solid as well. So I think Tungrad is the best, but these come in like second. So Morning Light, I have a video for Dokkaebi Forest and Honglim Base. These are kind of weird spots, actually. Like, a lot of the silver you get will depend on if you get the extra, what are they, the crystals that come with it. But I don't know what to say about them. If you can grind these spots, you can probably grind Ulakita and get 50% more silver an hour just doing this one. But yeah, I have videos of these if you want to watch it. Cool. The exchange event for the following items, this has been going on for a while now. Of course, you get, like, try to get everything if you can. The only one that's, like, questionable is the Noble Statues chest. Let me actually just show you in game. So yeah, it's this one, this thingy. Try to get everything. This is the only one that I haven't gotten, and I'm thinking about just getting all the seals, as many as I can. But yeah, try to get everything else instead, because those are actually something you probably will use. If you don't have tier 10 already, this is important, but if you have all tier 10s, like if you have the Krogdalo Sanctuary, here's what it does. You can see this one, and then you have your another horse, which I think I have to. Oh yeah, it's already there. So this is all of them. Yep, that's it. All right, so going back into that one, yeah, just try to get everything if you can, and then the boxes is just telling you what rewards there are. So anyway, with that said, just wanted to tell you that the event is going on, and go grind. It's actually, you know, a decent time to do so. Hopefully you guys get the ones you want. If you can get lucky, hopefully you get the merchant ring pieces. And if you are lower geared, the telescope is really nice as well. But with that said, that's all from me today. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.